All right. All right. All right. What is up? What is up, Johnsons? What is going on? What is the goings 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 on? Where are we at here? Where are we at? Man, let's do it. One more time. What's up? Let's crack it. What is going on? We good? Are we good? Oh, that's peaking. Let me bring that down just a little bit. I talk loud. That's how I talk. Oh, scary. All right, what's going on, Tim Black's Wolfpack? My name is Tim Black, and this is the Tim Black Show, a special edition. We're going to be coming during the day some of the time. Sometime we're coming on during the day. Don't want anybody to get confused. And we're going to be doing some updates. So expect a lot more Tim Black content, not only from this set, but from my pause set, which we have to refabricate. We'll be good. So I want to welcome everybody to the live stream, guys. This show is brought to you by Cut the Check. So it's brought to you by the descendants of chattel slavery in America. And people who are not so well off and so wealthy in condition and did not get hired by Zaddy, well, they forget where they come from and they forget what type of struggle regular people have. So it's for the common folks, the working folks, those people who know what time it is and what it takes to actually make it in this world, and when you're not given a position by white Zaddy, by the power structure, by the man. Okay, so this is going to be good. Now look, let me make sure everybody can hear first before I get into this, because I want to get to it. I'm asking that everybody share this out on your social media. This is going to be important. Important. Okay? This is not on Facebook. This is not on Twitch. This is on YouTube. So my YouTube members, my YouTube people, my YouTube Wolfpack, give it up for the Wolfpack and people that support this show. Give it up for my Patreon members which support this show. Without them, there is no show. This is brought to you by the people, not by corporations, not by establishment structures, by us. So give it up for yourselves. All right, so first of all, guys, there's been a lot of back and forth. Well, not so much back and forth. There's been a lot of content put out about my show Friday. And though my Tim Black's Wolfpack, they pretty much understand what we're talking about here, what the message of that content was. There are people who did not watch that show. Instead, they've gone on social to let Karens decide and cherry pick certain parts and then frame them misleadingly to tell you what your brother Tim Black meant or who he's talking to. All I'm going to say is go back and watch that. If you're a Tim Black TV member, please go watch the whole clip. At least watch. If you can't watch the 3-hour show that's free, go watch the 1-hour show, which is just the monologue. So all I'm going to say is don't judge me based on what Karens say, who don't like what I said, who got butthurt and offended, and took me out of context and lied and smeared a black man with some defamatory nonsense and garbage, but go watch the actual source material. And that's what we got to do when people put out false narratives. That's how they win, because people don't want to take the time to go watch the source. So please go watch the source and get that for yourself. Now, this live stream will not cover that, but I will come back and give you updates on that a little later. This is just too damn important, guys. This right here is more important than that right now. This is my lead because the elites came for my ass. They came after me, man. The elites are coming for a brother. They came for me. So we're going to address that. Because frankly, it's more important than addressing the other thing at the moment. Because I've been talking about that a couple of days. But later on today, I will go on to readdress and catch everyone up to speed on the other thing. And then we're going to still do a show tonight. Because that's what we do here. We work. Oh, us poor, hard-working people. We got to grind. We got to grind it out to make a living and support our families. We can't go on big-time vacations in secluded islands with our personal photographers. No, us hard-working people got to actually work for a living. We got to actually grind it out. Now, first things first, guys. The title of this show is The Elites. Corporate media elites punch down on Black independent media. So, Tim, what do you mean by that? The punch down crew. Dr. Jason Johnson, you may know him from MSNBC fame and also from blasting and dissing and discounting and insulting and gaslighting everything progressive on the left. You may recognize him. The other lady, the young lady to the left, her name is Tiffany Cross. She's a journalist and the host of the show Cross Connect. Now, these two punch down. But I want to make this clear, guys, so we're on the same page. I've never said a cross word. I've never said a cross word about Tiffany Cross. Never have I ever found a reason to say anything about Miss Cross. I had seen her name. She's a journalist. I knew that she was a contributor. I think I'd seen her on Peacock or MSNBC. But I won't pretend that she's not a human being and that she doesn't have that she hasn't been on various outlets or that she's not a person who's done some things in her field. I won't do that. See, what the elites do, and we're going to get to this, they discredit other people that are not a part of their circle. You may have heard the term go along, get along gang. If you ain't a part of the go along, get along gang, your ass don't exist. You don't deserve respect. You don't deserve acknowledgement. No one needs to Google you. No one needs to check your profile or anything, because if you're not a part of their inner circle, screw you. You're a nobody. You're a zero. And I'm so disappointed that Tiffany Cross would share that type of attitude. First of all, I'm disappointed that she pals around with little Jason, because he is little Jason. Come on, guys. The gaslighter, the liar, that's a shame. But so it's unfortunate that I have to do this, but I have to protect my name. Us small, independent Black media, we got to defend ourselves, man, when the big dogs come for us. We have to defend ourselves. We have to fight back, because that's all we got is our names, our reputations. So we got to stand by that. We can ignore some random haymakers thrown by people on our level or beneath our level, but when big people, big folks, bigger names, elites from the corporate media structure come after you, you got to stand up for yourself. So that's all we're going to do here. Now, let's go. Okay, so, Tim Black, what's wrong with you and little Jason? What's the problem? Why is there beef? Why are you doing this? Well, I'm doing this because Jason's an ass. And he really is an ass, and he loves to gaslight, and he loves to do a victory lap, and he loves to dance, and he's misleading. He lies so much. He omits facts and truths in his reporting, in his articles, his op-eds. The guy just says whatever he wants, and then if you challenge him, he says you're only challenging him because you want to get clout. I've been going back and forth with Dr. Jason for a few years. Started around the Bernie campaign in 2016. He found out then I had a following. He had no idea. He thought only those handpicked by the establishment get to have support. He was dumbfounded. He was starstruck. He was like, what? I can't believe this Black man built his own footprint. He had support. Oh, my God. I can't believe this. I thought you had to go kiss butt to white executives in order to get a footprint. Wow. I didn't know. So this all started because little Jason wrote an article. A misleading article, guys. Little Jason wrote this op-ed, and he wrote an op-ed, and I responded to it. I said, here's his op-ed here. And here goes my response to his op-ed. Yet another thirsty bullshit article for clicks. Dr. J purposely omits mentioning the millions funneled in by the DMIF. And that should be DMFI. The onslaught of misleading anti-Nina ads ran back-to-back and the lack of scrutiny of Chantel's potential ethics investigations. So, Tim, what are you talking about? Why are you calling out Dr. Jason? Why are you clout chasing Dr. Jason? Why? Why are you picking on him? Why are you clout chasing him? Well, see, here goes the title of Little Jason's article. Why Nina Turner, the real establishment, lost Ohio Democratic primary race. Yeah, that's what got it started, folks. So let's be clear here. You read that right. That's the actual title of his article. His article's title is not, it makes no sense. He said Nina Turner is the establishment. Now, to anyone, and I do mean anyone with a brain cell who knows anything about politics, they must know the establishment in the Democratic Party cannot stand Nina Turner. Evidenced by Hillary Clinton coming out and endorsing her top competitor, evidenced by the third most powerful Democrat in the House coming out and endorsing her top competitor. I mean, what else has to happen to make that title of that article some bullshit? How can you say Nina Turner's the establishment when the establishment doesn't support her? See, one thing we know for sure, guys, and this is one thing I think we're all going to agree on, whether you are a friend of Jason's, which I would be surprised he has those, that are not in a get-along group, because they're the only people, in my opinion, that can stomach him, frankly, because they get something out of him. He gets something out of them. They wash each other's back. They protect each other. They defend each other. We'll get into all that. But here's the thing, guys. I think we can all agree the establishment does one thing that does it very well, if nothing else. It protects its own. It protects its own interest at all costs. That's what it does. So Dr. Jason, the title of his op-ed alone that he tweeted out to the world, that he put out, that I responded to, which I have every right to do as a member of Twitter, this title alone that he tweeted out is full of it. It is complete and utter bullshit. Okay? Why Nina Turner, the real establishment, lost the Democratic primary race. Okay, so here goes the excerpt from this garbage op-ed that he wrote. He says, Nina Turner raised $4.5 million in campaign funds to Brown's $2 million, and while outside groups spend slightly more on pro-Brown advertising, Turner had been on the air much longer, so the air war was basically a wash. Wrong! Wrong! This is wrong. I'm not here to rehash the entire race between Chantel Brown and Nina Turner, but I have to point this out because this is why this altercation became so fiery. Chantel Brown had outside money to pour into this race to the tune of millions of dollars. It was done in the last months of the race. Nina Turner raised $4.5 million, but she raised it over the course of the entire race. We're talking about from December to August or July, okay? So she had to make a defensive case, an offensive case, house staff, pay for logistics, all these things she had to do with all that money. Chantel Brown had to cover those same expenses, but Chantel Brown had outside money that took care of all the dirty work for her. And they dumped millions of dollars the last month or so into this race in the form of all negative ads about Nina Turner. There are graphs out there that show how much was spent. I mean, Little Jason has to know all these facts. They're out there, they're everywhere. Jacobin Magazine, Daily Pastor, David Sirota did a great article on it. These are not new facts. So that's why I push back on Jason. Not because he obviously supports Chantel Brown, which I'm going to prove to you later. I'm going to prove that. Not that he detests Nina Turner, which I'm going to kind of prove, but you can kind of make your own decisions. because she's not establishment. That's what it's all about. But Little Jason was dishonest, and I called him out for his article, which we all have the ability to do. That's not clout chasing. That's called fact checking. That's called challenging authority. That's called being a participant in social media. If you don't want people to comment on social media, maybe you shouldn't post things on social media. Now let's keep going. So that's one comment. He says Turner had been on the air much longer, so the airwaves were basically awash. The truth is, Turner kept the race about fighting crime in Ohio and PPP loans for failing businesses in Tower City. Jim Clyburn would have never driven into Cleveland in a caravan like a Democratic King Jaffrey Joyful with the entire CBC in tow. This, folks, is, of course, this is an op-ed, so everyone's entitled to their opinion. This is entitled to their opinion, but it's pretty common knowledge that Jim Clyburn, part of the establishment, was going to support Shontel Brown anyway. They want to stop Nina. They want to keep Nina out. Like, this is not even like, we all know, as stated before, the establishment protects itself. It may not do a lot else, but it's going to protect itself. And they didn't want Nina Turner in Congress. So what Clyburn says, he's against sloganeering, anything that we fight for, defund the police, Medicare for all. He doesn't support these things. And those are things that Nina Turner supports. So let's keep going. Because there's too much to get to, Tim. He also said Turner didn't lose because of dark money. She lost because local voters didn't live their lives on Twitter. Don't read puff pieces in the New York Times and don't want the progressive establishment carpetbagging into town and telling the progressive establishment carpetbagging into town and telling people how to vote. Not to mention Shontel Brown is actually a pretty darn good public servant. All opinion. Turner didn't lose because of dark money. That's the part that got me. In most, look, guys, see, here's the thing. We folks who cover politics, we know in most cases, like 95% of races. And I'm being a little generous, maybe it's a little less, but I think it's about 95. The person with the most money wins. And it's also about when you have the money. If you have the money in the home stretch, to have the last thought of the voters be lies about your opponent, not about what you're going to do as a candidate, but all negative lies and smears against the person you're running against, if that's the last thing they're thinking when they go into the voting booth, that's pretty good for you. And for Dr. Jason not to admit to any of that, not to include any of that in his op-ed, I called it bogus. Now, I called it bogus. I said it was BS. But did I? What did I do that was so bad? That's my opinion. He can write an op-ed full of nothing but opinions, no data, no charts, no quotes, well, there's a couple quotes from a couple of people on the ground he talked to, just regular voters. But no quotes from Shontel, no quotes from Nina Turner, and no data to support his arguments. Just basically talking about a race that there is numbers to support. We know who voted. We know the neighborhoods that supported Shontel. We know that Nina Turner won Cleveland. We know that she won 5 wards in Akron. We know these things. She won the working class black vote. We know this, and the working class white vote. What she did not win was the more affluent suburbs. We know this. He left it all out of his op-ed. I have an issue with that. Now, Dr. Jason jumped in my DMs. I didn't contact him. I said what I wanted to say publicly. Because Jason is not my friend. Little Jason and I are not buddies. We're not pals. I don't kick it with him. We don't chit-chat. I don't call him on the phone. We don't text back and forth. I stated what I thought about his article in front of the whole world. The same place he put the article out, that's where I commented. He chose to go on my DMs and do a victory lap in support of Shontel Brown and shitting on Nina Turner. Just to try to get under my skin. That's why he did it. He didn't talk publicly. He came to me personally in my DMs and started shitting on Nina. Here goes one of, so what I did for that, because he would not stop, He would not stop, so I said, okay, I'm going to put the DMs public. I don't want to talk to you privately. We're going to talk publicly in front of the world. I want the world to know how much of a liar you are. I want them to see you dodge questions. I want them to know for a fact who you are and what you stand for. Because obviously people don't know about little Jason. Tiffany Cross doesn't know who her friend is and how her friend lies and manipulates and gaslights. Throws rocks and hides his hands, and how he's despised by lots of black people on the internet, lots of white people, lots of people in general. There's this fallacy just because you're on TV that people like you or people rock with you. No, you were given a job, little Jason. That's all. Somebody hired you because you easy to control. You easy to control and reel in. That's all it is. That's why they picked you. They picked you not because you are great, little Jason. They picked you because you will shit on whoever they tell you to shit on. You will punch down on black people who have something to say, and you will do their bidding in and out without question. You will leave out pertinent facts that educate the people, and you will continue their narrative. That's why you have a job, Dr. Jason. Don't condescend to us like we don't know what time it is, y'all. Like we don't know. Like they really want to pretend that we don't know why they've been chosen. The establishment protects itself. It hires people that will protect it. They don't hire loose cannons like Tim Black, who might say some real shit. They hire Jason, little Jason, who they know ain't gonna say no real shit. And if he does, it'll be something that's sanctioned within the box that he's allowed to say. Because there are some things they let him say. There's some things that are safe to say. And then there are other things that are not safe to say. And he knows exactly where the third rails are. He wouldn't talk about the dark money because that dark money might get him in trouble to discuss that. And if he would have said that in our DMs, I wouldn't have went public. But he is so cocky, he don't have to tell me the truth. He just lies. Here's an example. I said, hey, Dr. Johnson, I know you despise Nina Turner, but your journalistic integrity is questionable. Nina Turner is the establishment? How anyone takes you serious is baffling. You're a motherfucking joke, son. I didn't say that privately. I said it publicly because that's how I feel. Some of us are honest, unlike little Jason. So here goes the DMs. I said, Dr. Jason is a sellout. He's a coward mouthpiece for the establishment. He's afraid to even mention the DMFI spent half of Nina's total fundraising budget in negative ads the last month of the election. Get out my DMs and be a man, Jason. Talk publicly. We aren't friends. You're a coon. Hey, you ain't gotta like me. You ain't gotta be my friend. But that was pretty good, wasn't it? I mean, come on, that was pretty good. I mean, that's public. I'm shaming him in front of the world. I'm not doing this behind closed doors. I don't have a public face and a private face. I'm telling him in his face, you a coon. What you said are lies. You are full of shit. I'm saying it to the world. I'm saying it now, and I said it in DMs. Proof. Here goes the DM conversation underneath this. Can I move this? Hold on. There we go. So he says, I'm desperate for content because I criticize him publicly. I said, Dr. J is back to being the guy I love to battle. Welcome back, sellout. Did I stutter? I called him a sellout. Does that sound like a friendly conversation? No, I called him a sellout. Then he tells me Turner blew a 35-point lead. 100% name recognition. I doubt it was 100%. But more money and more congressional endorsements, and the best you can do is complain about me spitting facts as usual. He thinks it's facts to omit important facts in his op-ed. There's a reason I've had you on mute for over a year. So he says in this DM to me privately, he's had me on mute for a year. Here we go. I responded with this. Jason, why didn't you report on the DMFI money? And you and my DM sell out, not the other way around. I would not be talking to you if you hadn't wanted my attention, son. Because he started this conversation. This was initiated by him, the guy who's had me on mute. If he had me on mute, guys, how do you see my tweet? See, this is what you need to know, Miss Cross. Jason's a liar. If Jason is telling you the truth and he had me on mute for a year, how do you see my criticism of him? I didn't tag him. Plus, he had me on mute. It wouldn't have mattered. How do he see my criticism of him if he had me on mute? And why did he just block me? You know, there are going to be some hard words said throughout this video, guys, and all I'm saying is I'm not asking you to weigh the information and make your own decision. But there is this punch down squad, the elite punch down squad. And I want to expose them for what they are. I want to expose them I want to expose how they stick together, how it was us versus them, how it was all the people who got picked by Zaddy, how the establishment chose them and didn't choose us, and oh, woe is us. We're all a bunch of losers because we didn't get, as he put it, a seat at the big kids table. Yeah. He considers being chosen by the mostly white establishment, if not the total white establishment, power structure. He considers that being a big kid. It's not a big kid to be a speaker of truth, to fight for your people, to stand up for black people. That's what I've been doing. That's my mission statement, to stand up for black people, to make them get something for their vote. That helps all Americans because of the black vote. If black people get something for their vote, well, economy will improve dramatically, not just for us, but for everyone. Everyone does better when everyone is allowed to do better. We have to get off the bottom. That's my goal. That's not Jason Johnson's goal. Little Jason's goal is to sit at the table with the big kids, hang out with important people, big people with big names who do the bidding of corporations, institutions, and the rich and wealthy elite. Punch down on small people like me, small independent black media, particularly, and then gloat about it. So let's keep the party going. But remember, I did not start this. I minded my own business. I tweeted my dislike, my disagreement with an article. These two people, Tiffany Cross, and I'm about to say it, Empty Tiffany, that's her name, Empty Tiffany, and Little Jason. I like that, by the way. Empty Tiffany. She seems empty in this, man. Okay, so it didn't stop here, okay? We're almost done with the boring back and forth, but I gotta give you context to what's about to happen.
Give me
Now, this is what starts it off. This is so my bad. Let me tell you this real quick, guys. So we have that back and forth. He never responds to my critique of him publicly. I end up blocking him on Twitter. Then I unblock him because I wanted to see what he had to say. He doesn't say anything else. It's nothing else. There's no more conversation between little Jason and I, okay? But I have an interview with Dr. Cornel West because we do like a conversation, an autopsy of what happened with Nina and why it happened. Unlike little Jason, we actually have an open conversation. We were both in Cleveland and in Akron for almost a week. We actually worked with the campaign. I was there. I was filming their live stream. I live streamed for the Turner campaign. Not only did I live stream for the Turner campaign, and out of respect, I saw Jordan Sheridan there. He was there. He can attest to this. I also spoke at a rally for Nina Turner's Get Out the Vote rally, the last Get Out the Vote rally. I actually was given a mic and spoke. So there's been some conversations. It's getting to a lot more. So I just want you to know, I support Nina Turner. I want that to be clear. You may be new to this. I've been a supporter of Nina Turner for the last at least 5 years. I would rather she ran for president. I hope she does one day. She'd have my vote. I consider Nina Turner a friend. And I support her policies are what attracted me to her as an individual and what she stood for. But later, as I got to know her after doing countless interviews, both in person and virtual, she became more of a friend. And I had the opportunity to meet her family. And I was there with Danny Glover and Dr. Cornel West and so many other great people. I did not meet Keith Ellison, but there were other people there that I had the opportunity to meet, such as Nina's dad. Councilwoman Tara Samples was there. Anyway, Jennifer Farmer. Shout out to the whole crew. Angelo. Shout out to all the great people on the Turner campaign that I had the opportunity to hang out with, attend events with, eat dinner with. Okay, so let's keep it going. Yes, there was a dinner. We had a good time. It was great. And everybody that's... Okay, so now, hope it's okay to say that, but I just want to put that out there because there's been a lot of smearing going on. But back to this, guys, because that ain't really important. I just want you to know that I support Nina Turner, so I want that to be clear. Dr. Cornel West came on the show. I invited Dr. Cornel West on the show. His fantastic wife, Anna Amarita, exchanged numbers and with my wife, who I think is fantastic, and I have to say my fantastic wife. They exchanged numbers. They had a great time to talk during this dinner. She said, hey, if you ever want Dr. Cornel on the show, let us know. Please, you great, Tim. I watched your show. Tiffany doesn't know who I am, and I'm going to get into that later, but Dr. Cornel West knows. His wife knows. Mr. Glover knows. All these other people know, but to these other people, I'm as small, obscure, nobody cares. Nina's family knows. All these people know. Interview, so here's the thing. Dr. Cornel West came on the show. We had a conversation. Here goes a part of that conversation. It got Dr. or Little Jason really upset that he had to run and go get his friend Tiffany to have his back because of this. God, that took a lot to get to.
So I just want you to be buoyed up. I want you to be encouraged and continue to be inspired, because the flame that's inside of you can never be put out, but it's like the burning bush in the Hebrew scripture. It can't be put out. It can never be consumed. And it's because you got the love of the people, man. And it's just that simple. Really, it is. If you love the people, you hate the fact they're being treated unjustly. If you love the people, you loathe the fact that they're being treated unfairly. And if you don't do something, the rocks are gonna shout out from the very walls and streets in which.
See, now, some people don't understand my motivations, but these types of conversations with people like Dr. Cornel West, who I admire very deeply, they have a deep impact on me. And also my responsibility, my level of responsibility, and what I need to contribute to this movement and to my people, very frankly, to Black people, is even more amplified. So there are people that don't understand what I do, why I do it. This is one of the reasons, because I believe, as Dr. West believes, that we have an obligation to stand up and fight for our people. And that's what I've been doing, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So let's let Dr. West continue, because this is going to get even more profound.
People find themselves. That's the kind of tradition we come from. Now, of course, the result is you carry a heavy cross. We have to be very honest about that. Yeah. There's major cost to be born. There's major burdens to be born and bored.
Certain doors won't open. Hey, doors won't open. Some people leaning on the doors from the inside. That's what they nailing them doors shut. You got me? So I had a conversation with a brother, Dr. Jason Johnson, out there on MSNBC, and he in my DMs laughing about Nina. laughing about it, putting out articles in the Green, making a mockery of the campaign. He called you and Brother Glover and Keith Ellison carpetbaggers who came to town to hijack the vote. That's what he called.
Right?
That's right. He didn't list anything about the dark money coming in. You know, he said Nina Turner had all this money and she blew her league. He didn't talk at all about Nina Turner raised this amount of money, Brother West, but that's a total amount for the campaign. We had millions come in at the last month and drop it on the campaign. Drop it on the airwaves.
High Republican Trump donors.
He didn't even
gave
mention
to Sister Brown. Gave to Sister Brown. Jason ought to be ashamed of himself, but he's so tied to, I guess, the establishment in his own way. He didn't say nothing about the Democratic majority for Israel, though, did he?
Nothing, not a word. Or the third way. Or the third way, $250,000, nothing to sneeze at. Let me pause right there, guys. Let me say this. We'll come right back to this because this is so important, guys. This is so important. Now, I made a mistake here. I made a mistake because I said the Third Way organization, which is a neoliberal, corporatist-controlled organization. If you know about the politics in the Democratic Party, you know they're notorious for discrediting progressive movements. They back centrist candidates and centrist policies. They were full lock, stock, barrel behind Joe Biden during the primaries, not during the general, but during the primaries. And as were they, you know, so that's their history. And then in this clip, I said that they put in $250,000, $250,000. I stand corrected. They put in $500,000. So the actual amount they contributed was twice as much. And that was in the form of these flyers. Now look, here goes the flyers. Because I want people to know this, because you can't rely on Dr. Jason or Little Jason to tell us truth. We can't rely on him to inform us. So I have to do it. The small black independent media has to tell the truth.
So I just want you to be buoyed up. I want you to be.
Here goes some of the DMFI's handiwork. Now, this is a DMFI. These are the pamphlets that were spent by the DMFI. My bad, this is not the Third Way. This is the other organization that put out this lying pamphlet. That's right, my bad. This is a different pack. My bad, I got my packs mixed up. So let's let Dr. Cornell West.
So I just want you to, man, he to come from California and
she don't support
the Democratic majority for Israel, though, did he?
Nothing, not a word. Or the third
of himself, but he's so tied to, I guess, the establishment in his own way. He didn't say nothing about the Democratic majority for Israel, though, did he?
Nothing, not a word. Or the third way. Or the third way, $250,000, nothing to sneeze at. Just in flyers, just in misleading pamphlets. A couple days before the election.
Lying on Nina. Lying on Nina.
She don't support Dr. West. She don't support.
Pointing it out, saying they were lying on Nina and not giving people a chance to counter it. You know, it's just please. And I'm a carpetbagger because me and Anna had to come from California in order to try to be forces for good. A carpetbagger.
Yep. That's him.
That's him. I can only love black folk in my little neighborhood.
That's all.
I can't love black folk in Akron. Howard Hewitt loved me. He from Akron. I can't love the black folk in Akron. I can't love the black folk in Cleveland. Jason ought to get off his crack pipe and recognize he's too well adjusted to injustice at this moment in what he had to say. Now, I don't know what his whole life is like. I don't know what his whole orientation is like, but he strikes me as another milquetoast black neoliberal saying that kind of thing. Am I being fair?
Yeah, he's a buttermilk biscuit eating coon. He's a Django. He's a Stephen from Django stand-in is what he is. And they had those line ads on every poll imaginable from every cable news show, the radio show. They had it on billboards. They had lies on pamphlets, and they had it on stop signs and telephone poles and stripper poles. They had it on every pole, every place imaginable was lies about Nina. And this guy would not speak truth to power. And it's a shame, brother. It's a shame. So that was the conversation I had with Dr. West. That was not the crux of our conversation. That was just part of our conversation. We did not go on the live stream to discuss Little Jason. We did the live stream to discuss What happened when he turned his campaign in? What should we do now? Where we should go from here? So Dr. Jason says he didn't watch my video. Because, you know, I'm small, I'm a clout chaser, I'm irrelevant. I'm not in the go along, get along gang. I'm not in the elitist group, the punch down left group. I'm not in that. So he doesn't watch my content, but for some reason, some way, he was told what was in my content somehow, and he told Tiffany, and they decided to do a live stream on Instagram. Aha!
So I just want you to be buoyed up. I want you to.
But people were talking about the progressive, the moderate. And so when I was on my way down here, Jason sent me a tweet of somebody who I don't know having a conversation with Cornel West, making some pretty derogatory comments about Jason.
First of all, this is the problem, guys. This is the problem. And this is why that's why I'm calling Tiffany Empty Tiffany. Sister, there are lots of people you don't know. You may not know my mother. My mother is a 75-year-old black woman who has raised children and grandchildren, and she's a loving, caring individual. And her husband recently passed away, my dad, back in October. She's a leader in her community. She's a faith-based woman, a woman who believes strongly in her religion, and she's a good woman. She's a I would say part of the generations that's the backbone of the black community and what we stand for. And she's always inspired me and encouraged me, and she's a beautiful woman, and I love her so much. And just because you don't know her doesn't mean you get to talk down to people you don't know. And there are people like my mom and people like my cousins, my brothers, my sisters, my kids. You don't know them. But they're just as important, sister, as you. And they're just as relevant and just as human and just as black and beautiful and inspiring and intelligent and wise and gifted and funny and resilient, brave and courageous as any other person. And I would say even more so because we don't get big paychecks from corporations that allow us to go travel and lap it up in the sun and come back and have private drivers escort us around and get our hair did just a certain way. And I'm not dissing you, sister, but you sound like a complete elitist. And now maybe I'm jumping the boat, but we're going to listen to the rest of this. But just your energy is like, I don't know this person at all. I've never met this person. As if that means anything. What the hell does that got to do with what was said? And so anyway, let me let this go. I'm gonna let it go. Maybe I'm being harsh. Maybe I'm being quick to judge, guys. You decide if Empty Tiffany's characterization is fair. Remember, she's never met me. She's never spoken to me. I'm on Twitter. She sees my video. You see this background? My name's all over it. One thing you can never say is that when you watch a Tim Black video, you don't know that person's name is Tim Black. Like, it's 2 syllables. And it's all over the damn place. So this is what elitists do when they discredit us. They say we don't exist. We're irrelevant. We're not important. Only they are important because somebody hired them. So let's keep going. Let's keep going.
People were talking about the progressive, the moderate. And so when I was on my way down here, Jason sent me a tweet of somebody who I don't know having a conversation with Cornel West, making some pretty derogatory comments about Jason. So we're going to talk about that. I might have to call Jason again. He might be in here. I'm not even going to say that he's late today.
Remember, guys, Dr. Jason contacted her about the irrelevant person, which is Tim Black, to tell him that he got his feelings hurt. That's what the big, tough, strapping, honorable guy who wants to quote hip-hop lyrics like Tupac and Biggie, that's what he had to do. He had to run to the black woman to get back up against little old independent media Tim Black.
He actually might be here. Oh, wait. 1 second. So I might be. Hang on, guys. There we go. Okay. Jason, I think I just admitted him. We'll see.
Good morning.
Good morning. You got to talk because I got to find the car. It's raining in D.C. and I need to make a mad dash to this car because they did a good job with my hair and I just don't want to get soaked looking for the driver. So
It never rains in Southern California.
I did watch that clip and I have thoughts. So can you just explain? I don't know who that guy is that Cornel West is interviewing with. Can you?
I'm not gonna.
But people were talking about.
That's what I'm saying, guys. Like, the whole context of the conversation. I believe this, guys. This guy that they don't know. That's the second time she says, I don't know him. I want everyone to understand this is what elitists do. They could very well know who you are. Their main thing is to throw shade. The best way to throw shade is to pretend that you're no one. That's their main go-to. But they don't realize that is so exposing them because that's the obvious thing because all of these elites do it. So it's become a thing where, there goes the elitist asshole. Because that's what they do. Like, I've never heard of this person. It could be Beyonce. Who? You know, Kelly Rowland could be like, say something about Beyonce, but like, well, Kelly Rowland said something about you, Beyonce. She'll be like, Kelly who? I don't know. Nobody. And then they would all laugh to themselves. And I'm just using that as an example. I'm not saying Beyonce would do that. But what I'm saying is that's what elitists do. They minimize us. We don't matter. So let's go a little bit further into what she said. She said some other stuff, didn't she? But let's go now where, okay, the clip was sent. And, this is my point. This live stream is about me. So you're going to say I'm clout chasing. You guys started a live stream about me and Dr. Cornel West. And you're going to insult Dr. Cornel West as if either of you could carry his tie. Okay? Like as if either of you have had the impact that Dr. Cornel West has had on the culture, this country, and the world. How dare you pretend to be able to shine his damn shoes? How disrespectful. We're going to get into that. Who the hell do these people think they are, y'all? Somebody give them a damn job. They act like they're the king of black people. Somebody give them a damn job and now their shit don't stink. Somebody gave them a damn job. Jason, this punk ass, just recently came off suspension. How the hell they think they are? Because somebody gave them a paycheck. Look down their nose, talk shit. We got to start calling them out all the time. I didn't make videos talking about these people. She went live to 20,000 people. Last time I checked, her video was at 20,000 people shitting on me and shitting on Dr. Cornel West, our interview. When that's not even what the interview was about. Our discussion about little Jason lasted all of 2 minutes. It was an hour conversation. They took out that 2 minutes, and they don't even show of course they're not going to play the clip. I'm playing their clip. I'm not just telling you what I think about them. I'm not just assigning things. I'm actually doing my due diligence as a journalist to play what they said, so you see it in context. They don't afford us the same respect. Because then you would hear what we're talking about, and that though though I was colorful in my language, I had points I made about Jason. The things I took issue with were based on his reporting being shit. And that's listed in the video that she saw. Well, folks, I'm going to let this continue to play. Just keep that, put a pin in that as we go to the next clip.
Good morning.
Good morning. You got to talk because I got to find the car. It's raining in D.C. and I need to make a mad dash to this car because they did a good job with my hair, and I just don't want to get soaked looking for the driver. So
It never rains in Southern California.
I did watch that clip, and I have thoughts. So can you just explain? I don't know who that guy is that Cornel West is interviewing with. Can you?
I'm not gonna.
But just
because he's a clout chaser. He's a clout chaser.
Okay, but like, does he have any background in anything, or is he just somebody talking greasy on these internets?
I mean, you know the rap reference. He begged me to be on his show. He crawled into my DMs apologizing whenever he gets mistreated by somebody else. And as Tupac says, you remember when I used to let you sleep on my couch?
And bag up to let you sleep on the... yeah. I know.
He's that guy.
Precisely the reference.
This Negro just said, I begged him to come on my show. I refuse to let you on my show, little Jason. Because I don't bring assholes on my show. I've got receipts of you wanting to come on my show. And me asking, why would you want to come on my show? And then me shading you and not inviting you on my show. Because you referred to Bernie Sanders supporters as pedos. And I thought it was better not to have you on the show because that's not good. My audience would be pissed off. And you would lie because you are a liar. And I got to say, Tiffany, if this is the type of company that you keep, I got to question your picking skills. I mean, this guy uses a Biggie reference, a Tupac reference. This guy? I mean, we could look at, I don't want to, how could I say this? You look at this guy and you look at me, you can't tell which is the person, which one of these brothers. Notice this bass in my voice. Does he ever talk with bass in it? How could you be a real down sister and not know that this guy, little Jason, is a weak-ass dude? You don't know that? You can't tell Jason is weak? How can you be a cool sister and not know that? I met this guy, Jason, at Politicon. His tail tucked so quick between his legs, it was embarrassing. He is not a stand-up guy. He's corny. I've never slept on his couch. You know the reference, Tiffany? Well, he ain't a sucker MC. He's a punk-ass wannabe. He's a op. Know that reference? And y'all both capping. He's a lame and op. Y'all both capping. I'm going to have to call you Empty Tiffany. Yeah, Tiffany, you're empty, sister. You're empty on the inside. Look good on the outside, empty on the inside. That's how it was looking. I mean, I did not have this opinion of you until now. You believe this guy? Now, look, okay. Hold on, guys. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself because, hey, that's her friend for whatever reason. That's her friend. So, he's lying to her. But Tiffany, you gonna believe this guy? Like, just, I'm a person, you know this, right? So, you just gonna believe what he says about me. Don't check shit. Because Jason said it, it must be true, and you're gonna join in. on a conversation about somebody you don't even know. All right, let's keep going, guys, because it gets more interesting. They have much more to say.
Good morning.
Good morning. You got to talk because I got to find the car. It's raining in D.C.
I'm not gonna.
But just
Yeah,
say,
because
like,
he's a clout chaser. He's
Okay.
a clout chaser.
okay. But, like, does
Yeah.
he have any background in anything, or is he just somebody talking greasy on these internets?
I mean, you know the rap reference. He begged me to be on his show. He crawled into my DMs apologizing whenever he gets mistreated by somebody else. And as Tupac says, you remember when I used to let you sleep on my couch?
And bag up to let you sleep on the... yeah. I know
that guy.
Precisely the reference.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
Jason, I'm going to make a run for it if I slip and fall.
Okay.
If any of y'all in the comments laugh.
I can't wait to see. This is going to be like some.
Okay, just for the record here, just to make it perfectly clear, I emphatically deny his assertions. That's some bullshit. I am not looking for his help in anything. Period, point blank. And if I ask him to do shit for me, he's never done anything for me. He's never assisted me in anything. If anything, he's an impediment. If anything, he's been nothing but a fucking nuisance. The entire time that he's been in my DMs and on my posts on Twitter, getting in his feelings like a coward. Then when I meet him in person, he punks out. He ain't nobody. So he's a lame, he's a liar. Period. Let's keep moving because they say some more shit. Let's get beyond that. Oh, here's the part that's funny. He says he didn't even watch our clip. He said he did not watch my clip with Dr. Cornel West. That's what he said. He's a liar about that too. So he gives out a couple lies here. 2 lies, 3, 4 lies. He got a lot of lies. Here's gonna lie about watching the clip, which is such a lame lie. It doesn't make sense.
Okay. All right. I've made it in the car. Hair only slightly soaked. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know who that guy was, but I did watch the clip.
That's the 3rd time she says, I don't know who he is. This is strategic. This is what elitists do to shit on people who don't have money. This is her 3rd time. Now you earned it. You are empty, Tiffany. Nah, man. Tiffany is so empty. Is the Tiffany half empty or half full? I'll say it's half empty. The Tiffany is half empty, guys. I mean, come on, guys. 3 times in the course of 5 minutes, you had to tell the world you don't know who I am 3 times. If anything, it seems like I'm a person that you want them to know because you're doing a live stream about me. Let's get this straight. I have a conversation on Twitter with Dr. Jason, Little Jason. Little J and I have a conversation. It gets heated. Let me back up. Little Jason puts out a horrible article that I disagree with. I comment about it publicly. I say it's garbage because it is. He jumps in my DMs. Says I call it garbage not because I feel it's garbage, but because I want clout. Now, mind you, I had just been at the Nina Turner campaign speaking at the Nina Turner campaign with Dr. Cornel West, Mr. Danny Glover, Keith Ellison, all these people. But I need to come back to Maryland and jump on a live stream or jump on Twitter to get clout from Dr. Jason. It doesn't even make fucking sense, no matter how stupid you are. That makes no sense at all. As if Jason, and this is how the elites think, guys. This is the thing I want people to know. This is how they think. He actually thinks that all the other shit I do is nothing, that the highlight of my week or my day or my life is spent with him. Me calling him a sellout is how I get my, that's how I grow. That's supposed to be good for me. Nah, motherfucker, I called you a sellout because you are a sellout. I called you a clown because you are a clown. I said you a buttermilk biscuit eating, tap dancing, handkerchief head fool because that is what I think you are, and that's what you prove you are. You are tap dancing for the establishment. I believe that. I don't say that to get people to clap. I don't say that because I'm paid to. I don't say that to just do it. I say it because I believe it in the fiber, every fiber of my being, motherfucker. You ain't a real dude. You don't ride for black people. You ride for corporations, and you full of shit. And that's what I think of you. Now, Tiffany Crisscross, I had no problems with you until now. You insulted me not once. Everyone can hit the one shot. You insulted me twice. Okay. All right, watch yourself. All right, here we go. All right, let's back up. 3 times. That's it. That's enough. This ain't baseball. All right? That's 3 strikes. You out. 3 insults in 5 minutes. You guys did a live stream to talk about me, but I'm the one chasing clout. That would seem pretty fucking stupid. But this is how they do us. I just want people to know, this ain't nothing new. They punch down all the time. This is the way they roll. If you ain't part of their circle, you ain't shit. If they don't know you, you ain't shit. If you ain't kissing their ass, you aren't shit. Period. But they want to sell, they love jumping in front of cameras and telling the rest of the world how they are speaking for black people. They love, I don't watch Tiffany enough to know, but I've seen Jason try to speak when he's in a room full of white people on this show on MSNBC, like he's the voice of black America. How you gonna be the voice of black America when you got contempt for average working black Americans? How you gonna be the voice of black Americans when you feel like if they don't know you and if they're not in your circle, they don't matter? How you gonna be the voice of black America that when they criticize you, you say they chasing clout? They just want to be known like you. And Jason, no one would fucking know you, dude, if you didn't have a job. If you didn't have a job at a white company that put you in front of black people. Like a wind-up dog to say whatever they want you to say. And Tiffany, you sound the same way. Hey, man, y'all roll together, right? That's your squad. That's your guy. You co-signing this nonsense right now. Let's go a little further because Tiffany makes a lot of insulting comments about Cornel West. As if it's cool. Now, he never said anything about her. Her name never came up. She inserts herself because her name Tiffany. And that's okay for her to do because she is Tiffany. So she can insert herself into grown men conversations that don't have nothing to do with her. If Dr. J, little Jason, wanted to strike back at Cornel, he could. If he wanted to strike back at me, I get that. But what do you have to do with it? Why are you in this? Why are you throwing shade? Why are you a part of a conversation that got nothing to do with you? Well, your name was not interjected. Why are you insulting me? I've never spoke your name. Now, what's going to happen? I already know. This is it. Let me read the future. When this video goes, when people start viewing it, I don't know if it's going to go viral. Because, frankly, I don't know if enough black people are going to see it. But we're trying to make enough black people see it so it gets shared. Because they're going to care that this shit on independent media, black independent media, might matter. But if it does go viral enough where she sees or hears about it, she is going to play victim. And I'm going to be the bully, and they're going to say, I hate women, and I hate black women, and I attack Tiffany. Well, that ain't what happened at all. They are going to clip out pieces and form a narrative. Karens do this. White Karens do this. They just did this to me recently. They took a 3-hour video, an hour rant, and took 60 seconds of it and said it was about this person when it wasn't. And when I say, hey, that's not about that person, they never responded and proceeded to share it and share it and share it, just like Fox News. But that's exactly what Tiffany's going to do. So let's go. Let's keep going. This is where Tiffany insults everybody that ain't little Jason or herself. Because that's what they do.
Okay. All right. I've made it in the car. Hair only slightly soaked. Okay. So yeah, I don't know who that guy was, but I did watch the clip.
Yeah. So I haven't because I read the description.
Wait, you didn't watch the clip? And you had me watch the clip?
Oh, no. But I've seen all the others. So
Bullshit. That's the point I wanted to make. Bullshit, guys. Come on. Come on. Come on. Who sends a clip to someone without watching the clip? So let me get this right. You guys are going live stream about a clip that you haven't even watched, and you said you read the description, Jason? That you know you've seen all the others. You saw all the other what? Folks, my show, that show with Dr. Cornel West, once again, it was an hour long. We talked about Jason for I'm going to be generous and say 2 minutes. At around the 45-minute mark, he says he didn't watch it. He didn't even say he heard about it. He wasn't thinking on his feet. You got to be quicker with your lies, Jason. You said you didn't watch the clip. Tiffany's like, hold on a second. You sent me a clip you didn't even watch? See, she's a little slow right now because she doesn't realize this is all bullshit. She's not up to speed on the lie that they need to tell each other. He's thinking she's going to play along. And their playing along skills aren't going so well because she caught off guard and had the honest moment like, hold on, man. You sent me a clip to watch, and you didn't even watch it yourself? What kind of shit is that? And now we're doing a live stream about it? Make no mistake, this is what the conversation's about. The bulk of this live stream that was also an hour long is about me and Dr. Cornel West. Dr. Jason says that he read the description. That's how he knew what it was about. And he knew it was about him and it was derogatory or whatever, right? That's what he said. He said he read the description. Here goes the description of the video of me and Dr. Cornel West. Here goes the description, guys. Remember, he said this is how he knew what I said and what was said about him. It was in the description. Let me prove he's a lying piece of shit.
Okay. All right. I've made it in the car.
Here goes the description of the Dr. Cornel West video. Dr. Cornel West unpacks an internal Ohio race results. Dr. Cornel West joins Tim Black to discuss an internal campaign and where we go from here. Notice that there is no mention of Dr. Jason in the title of this video. No mention whatsoever. He's not in the thumbnail. He's not in the description. So how the hell would you know what this video is about that he's mentioned in the video if you didn't watch the video? Once again, guys, here's my point, man. We got to start being able to spot snakes. Yeah, we got to do a better job of calling out snakes and spotting them. We can't just believe them saying stuff. They should have to prove what they say. And we got to stop them from punching down. We got to respond to punch downs. See what I'm saying? Because this is the way they play the game. They discredit us with no proof for asking very vital, important questions like, hey, why didn't you talk about the dark money? Why didn't you talk about whose precincts, what areas were won by what candidate, and how the Trump supporter dumped millions? Like, why aren't you talking about where the money came from that Chantel ran on? You would think that would be kind of important to mention. And even if he chose not to mention it, to say I'm bringing it up because I'm trying to chase clout. Folks, if you know me at all and if you watch my work, you know I brought it up because I cared about the race. Not because I'm trying to chase clout from it. Frankly, being associated with you, Dr. J, does not give one clout. Maybe it gives Tiffany clout, or vice versa, I don't know. Maybe it gives people in your circle clout, but in my groups, my people that I rock with, black folks that I rock for, I don't want to be associated with you at all. So this is all bullshit. And I just want people to recognize and start seeing through this, man. Start seeing through it. How many times has this cornball got away with this type of nonsense and bullshit? The guy is horrible. His own mama can't stand him. Come on now. Look at him. Listen to him. He sound like a real brother. I didn't say he ain't black. I said, what kind of black is he? What kind of black is he? What kind of a man is he? What kind of a, geez, what kind of professor is he? Jesus Christ, he's teaching kids. He has influence over impressionable minds. This horrible lying scumbag gaslighter, this guy. Tiffany believes him, just out of hand believes him. Yeah, we got to do a better job of being able to, your spidey senses got to start tingling. Your neoliberal spidey senses, like you can tell, like this guy's, he's full of shit. You know, the ass kiss radar has to start going off. Woo, 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 woo. Ass kiss alert, ass kisser alert. Like you got to start being able to decipher. We got Empty Tiffany and little Jason just teaming up on independent, small, no one knows me, obscure Tim Black. And that's one thing. But when they're going on Dr. West, that's a whole nother thing, Johnson. A whole nother thing, ain't it?
Okay. All right.
This, because this is where.
Wait, you didn't watch the clip, and you had me watch the clip.
Oh no! But I've seen all the others, so I
Okay.
I know all the others.
So you know.
So I'm gonna say this, because this is where the whole sort of thing begins. I'm glad that you mentioned today on the air. By the way, I will actually say something nice up front before I talk my usual nonsense. You look very tan and very happy.
We don't give a fuck. You're deflecting, and lying. Here we go.
Good morning.
Good morning. You got to talk because I got to find the car. It's raining.
He begged me to be on his show. He crawled into my DMs.
Invite Nina on. This was totally organic. I was like, we didn't know that the Congress was a future. Nina on.
Okay, so let's jump to this, guys, because this is going so long. It's 3 o'clock. So they do this stuff back and forth. Here it goes, guys. Chantel Brown comes on the live stream. Yeah, Chantel Brown, Congresswoman, I don't know if you say elect, because she still has a primary, right? Excuse me. She comes on their live stream, just pops up out of the blue air. Out of nowhere, she pops up and they bring her on the live stream. And they talk. Let's see, and then they say some other things. Let's go to that clip. Let's try that clip. This is very interesting. The riveting Chantel Brown says some important words.
Brown campaign and outside groups spent on air advertising, right?
Leave her response in the comments. This is a genuine question. Like, I really don't know.
Oh, okay, here we go. Just before Chantel comes on, this is the one we want. Okay.
Leave her response.
Okay. So this is important, guys. This is important. Just before Chantel comes on, Tiffany, to her credit, Miss Cross, to her credit, she asked Dr. Jason, because she watched the video, that she didn't give me any credit for, where I bring up that Chantel Brown took a lot of dark money, right? That's what my criticism of Jason was, that he omitted those facts. Tiffany asked him about it, and this is where Dr. Jason has to admit, yeah, it was a lot of dark money in there, and blah, blah, blah. So here it goes. Dr. Jason is going to admit about the dark money, and then Suddenly, they get interrupted as he's talking about the dark money. Now, I guess you could think this is a raw, just something that just happens, just a coincidence. That's it. It's just a coincidence. Then when they start talking about the dark money that Chantel took in, all of a sudden they're interrupted and they forget to even come back to it for some reason. The very question I asked little Jason about to begin with. But here they go discussing the point I made earlier. Check it out. Important.
Leave her response in the comments too. This is a genuine question. Like, I really don't know.
So my understanding of what happened from paying attention outside and talking to people is that you had it's like the Democratic Friends of Israel, was like DMFI. A couple of outside groups came in the last month or two and ran ads either in support of Chantel Brown or critical of Nina Turner.
They were 90% smears and critical of Nina Turner. Liar. And you didn't learn this on the ground. I told you in DMs. I told you in DMs and asked you why you didn't write about it in your horrible op-ed. So he's just a liar, guys. Here goes one of those ads. It says that Nina Turner was against the minimum wage, universal health care, and immigration reform. All lies. Nina Turner did not support the 2020 Democratic Party platform because she wanted more. She wanted them to go harder. She wanted more. A higher minimum wage. She wanted more from the Democratic Party, and they weren't trying to give it, so she was not agreeing to it. It says here, Turner helped elect Donald Trump because she didn't endorse Hillary. These are the lies. Now, just because you don't endorse a person doesn't mean you're helping them, helping their competition. It means you didn't endorse them. These are all lies.
Leave her response in the comments too. This is a genuine question. Like, I really don't know.
So my understanding of what happened from paying attention outside and talking to people is that you had it's like the Democratic Friends of Israel, was like DMFI. A couple of outside groups came in the last month or two and ran ads either in support of Chantel Brown or critical of Nina Turner, right? They made a significant ad buy. Okay. There's two things with it. Number one, if you add up all of the money that the Brown campaign and outside groups spent on just air advertising, right? It's still like a negligible amount.
Oh, look at who popped in.
Look what surprise happened. As he's discussing the DMFI, all of a sudden, the conversation changes. Isn't that amazing, guys? Wow, what a coincidence. As soon as we talk about the dark money, the conversation goes somewhere else. You can't make this shit up, Johnson.
I'm sorry. Hey, Congresswoman. I couldn't figure out how to add you, but I think I got it.
Now remember, guys, this is the same question I asked him Thursday. Jason, why didn't you report on the DMFI money? That was my question to him. Look, there's so many important points here. And look, guys, if you say Nina Turner lost an election, she was up 35 points and she lost. And you say that's not something that normally happens. An interested person, an intelligent person, a person of reasonable investigative journalistic credibility would say, what is different about this campaign that's not typical in other campaigns? And they would start looking for those things. And then you would notice, well, here goes a blip. The $2 million that came in the last month of the race in all negative ads from the Foundation for Israel or whatever. The $500,000 that came in from the right way, the third way. You would think maybe that would have an impact. How else? How else? What? Why? And look, not to even mention it. So, what are we saying? We're saying that. So they insult our intelligence all the time, man, because they pretend or they think or they want us to believe that we're crazy when we ask these questions. Now to cover his ass, because Tiffany asked him publicly, he tries to state it. He states what I already brought up. I told him about the money. I told him about the DMFI money. I'm sure other people told him. It's published. It's common knowledge to those who do this research. When we know about the affluent enclaves that supported Chantel, 89, 90% of those enclaves, or in certain boroughs or certain wards, I should say, certain neighborhoods like Beechwood, Piker Heights. Come on, man. They went almost totally for Chantel. These are the white affluent areas, predominantly white affluent areas. Working class blacks and whites went for Nina Turner. But that's not the point of this video. Dr. Cornel West and I go over these issues about the race. My point is Tiffany Cross, Empty Tiffany, and Little Jason are punching down when all I'm doing is stating facts. All I did was state facts about the race. And their response is, he ain't relevant, he irrelevant, he's small, he don't matter. I got a problem with that shit. Just because the white corporations didn't pick me doesn't mean I don't matter. I do matter. Now, let's see.
Invite Nina on. This was totally organic. I was like, we didn't know that.
Oh, here we go. Here goes. Now, this is my favorite part. Hang in there a little bit longer, guys, because this is very important. I hope you stay long enough to see this. This is my favorite part. This is the part where it looks to me like Dr. Jason Johnson and Chantel Brown have been talking about and coordinating some things. It just looks that way to me. Please watch this clip and tell me what you think. See if you see my point. Here it is.
Brown campaign and outside groups spent on just air advertising, right? It's still like a negligible amount.
Oh, look at who popped in.
Wonderful.
I'm sorry.
Hey, guys.
Congresswoman. I couldn't figure out how to add you, but I think I got it.
Thank you. Thank
Good morning,
you.
Future Congresswoman. How are you today?
I'm good. Trying to find some better light. I'm tired, but Dr. Jason, you know the real. You were talking to me a little bit early on, so you knew what this was about from the beginning.
There it is, Johnson. There it fucking is. Boom. Bow. Doop, doop, doop. And that's virtual, not a real gun, okay? Currents. Bam. That's it. Dagger, baby. Dagger, dagger, dagger. Yeah, you and I were talking, early on a little bit about what was going on, in the beginning, And did you hear Dr. Jason, Little Jason's voice get higher? Yeah, like a little kid. Like, oh shit, don't say that. Don't say that. Uh-oh, don't expose me. Don't tell on me. Hey! That boy testicles ran up through his throat. It just jumped. Hey! You see that? See what your boy did, Tiff? You didn't notice that? Let's play that again, Johnson. Listen to Dr. Jason's voice hit octaves in the Michael Jackson range when Chantel Brown exposes that she been talking to Dr. J behind the scenes from the day one.
Campaign and outside groups spent on just air advertising, right? It's still like a negligible amount.
Oh, look at who popped in.
Wonderful.
I'm sorry.
Hey, guys.
Congresswoman. I couldn't figure out how to add you, but I think I got it.
Thank you. Thank
Good morning,
you.
Congresswoman. How are you today?
I'm good. Trying to find some better light. I'm tired, but Dr. Jason, you know the real. You were talking to me a little bit early on, so you knew what this was about from the beginning. And so what we saw at the end, Tiffany, was really a candidate that saw the lead slipping away. I am a child of faith, first and foremost, so I want people to be abundantly clear about that. And so this was more than just a race for...
Oh, God, man. Yeah, welcome to it, Ohio. That's your it's possibly could be your congresswoman. I mean, you know, if the investigation doesn't go forward and she doesn't face legal liabilities for kickbacks, she could be your congressperson. Oh, let me just throw this stuff at the wall. Sort of like a campaign. Nothing really of substance, but, you know, that's not important. We got to stay chummy with people in charge. Yeah. Being selected by the establishment is not an indicator of talent, ability, ethics, backbone, courage, strength, or anything. In some cases, it's the opposite. And in most cases, it's the opposite. It's an indication that they can control you. It's an indication of being adjustable to their whims. It's being a puppet. That's what it's more of an indication of. It's an indication of going along to get along. It's elites punching down. That's what it is. So I just found that hilarious, man. And once again, I just want people to pay attention to it. Now, we're almost done, but here goes the part that's not so much fun, okay? It's not so much fun because there should be a level of respect that we pay our elders. There should be a level of respect paid to those of our elders who have been setting the stage and making the sacrifices and fighting on our behalf for decades upon decades. At some point, you have to say, if you're a young person and you can't give any respect to people that are doing the damn thing, that may be a problem. I mean, you have to prove to me why you think it's okay. Now, I've been critical of James Clyburn. For instance, because I think he's counterproductive for my people. I think he's compromised. I think his politics is not positively impacting black people. I don't think it's also not. I believe it's detrimental to working class people. I think his stance on Medicare for all changed once he started taking the pharmaceutical money, which is all facts. His pushback on defund the police. His abandonment of ending qualified immunity. So I've been very critical of James Clyburn. Those are my reasons. They're going to criticize Dr. Cornel West because he made comments about Dr. Jason and Dr. Jason's lack of coverage, inconsistent, false coverage of this race. A very specific claim. Until I would chalk up a lot of things that Ms. Cross says. It's just being influenced and being led and believing her friend, errantly believing her friend, little Jason. But this part kind of shows more about who she is. Make your own mind up about it, of course, but here goes the clip.
Invite Nina on. This was totally organic. I was like, we didn't know that the future Nina on, invite
was necessarily Chantel. You were saying, like, is that
Yeah.
really her?
I was like, this is really her. I don't want to have some crazy person join them. It was really her. But if I saw Nina in here make comments, I would invite her as well. So y'all stop it with the ridiculous, like one or the other. You just heard the future Congresswoman say she's happy to work with anybody. Let's put whatever happened in that race behind us and move forward for the people, all day for the people. Now about this foolish man making these comments, and Cornel West, what? This dude will just take a shot.
So that was number 4. Now she calls me foolish man. Now I'm the foolish man. Yeah, now she's directly insulting me. Now she says this foolish man and Dr. Cornel West making these comments. So I'm a foolish man because I say that your friend Jason is a shit journalist who puts out false narratives. There are a lot of people that believe that. And we're not foolish. You know what's foolish, Miss Cross? Empty Cross? Empty Tiffany? What's foolish is believing a lying asshole like little Jason and going on Instagram to talk about and defend your friend who's a scumbag, gaslighting liar for the centrist for corporations. That's foolish. It's also foolish to talk shit to someone who has a microphone and no balls. Yeah, because I can do live streams all the time. So it's foolish to insult someone you've never met based on the word of someone who's a proven liar, which I proved in this video a couple times. It's foolish to play like an elitist, like you're above us all, like we just a little poor people, while you high step over us like you one of them high-stepping Negroes on high, looking down on the pro-black folks with our hand in our hand. You go do good now. You so pretty, Miss Cross. Huh. You please, Miss Cross, you got a quarter to spare. You look so fine and fair. I've been wishing I could one day have me a opportunity to be in your good graces. Is there anything I can get you, Miss Cross, ma'am? You like Dr. Dandruff. Yes, she is. It's a little bit more, guys, a little bit more.
Nina on, invite Nina on. This was totally organic. I was like, we didn't know that the future Nina on, invite.
It was necessarily Chantel. You were saying, like, is that really her?
I was like, this is really her. I don't want to have some crazy person join them. It was really her. But if I saw Nina in here make comments, I would invite her as well. So y'all stop it with the ridiculous, like one or the other. You just heard the future Congresswoman say she's happy to work with anybody. Let's put whatever happened in that race behind us and move forward for the people, all day for the people. Now about this foolish man making these comments, and Cornel West, what? This dude will just take a shot just to get in the conversation. And it's unfortunate because it's like all of this sense you have and none of it is common, So I don't think we should really talk about it, Jason, unless you want to. But essentially, Cornel West made some derogatory comments about Jason on some platform with somebody I ain't never heard of in my whole entire life. But comments were made. So, Jason, would you like to address those comments? They called Jason a neoliberal and some other insults about him that I don't even remember. So, would you like to address that?
I'm going to say this, and
I'm sorry, guys. I forgot she said all that shit. Whoa, I forgot she said all that. Oh. She said that Dr. Cornel West, that dude was just taking shots. First of all, that's Dr. Cornel West to you. That's some dude. Okay? Some dude. The audacity of this woman. Empty Tiffany. This is not respectful language or rhetoric. This dude, what the fuck have you done? What movements are you leading? Spokesmodel for the corporations of MSNBC. What have you done that's so valued? What's your contribution to the culture except getting your head dead? Oh, hold the hell up. Hold on, sister. No. She says he has all this sense and none of it is common. No, you sound common. Have you been with Common? You sound common. Your language is common. Your attitude is common and elitist, common amongst elite, high-stepping Negroes. See, Dr. Cornel West is a fighter for the people, yo. People chose him, not white executives. Somebody need to put them in their place, y'all. We need to put them in their goddamn place. Right now, put these assholes in their place. Let them know. You don't get to show up and talk tough and talk like you are the chosen one. Well, who chose you? We ain't choose you. Ain't a Negro watching chose you. Corporation chose you. A white exec chose your punk ass. Both of y'all. Look down your damn nose and talk about one of our loved, cherished icons like they're garbage because they don't play in your circle, because they don't jump in your school, your sandbox and play who's got the best suit on or who went on the fanciest trip. You know, we forego a lot of the niceties and all the luxuries that you guys have. But on the inside, which is what matters, that's where all the integrity is, my sister. I mean, I would say a lot more about you, Tiffany. But it's because of brother Dr. Cornel West, and that's in the back of my head right now, like, man, don't say it. Dr. Cornel West is such a graceful person, but I am going to call you a sellout. Both of y'all are sellouts. I did not intend to go this hard, but... And this is the 5th time in a live stream that you are doing about me where you say, someone I never heard of myself. My name is Tim Black, Empty Tiffany. I'm a self-made man. I don't have much, but I built it. I didn't get hired, I hired myself. I didn't get put on, I put myself on. And I don't tap dance for no parties, and I support only the candidates I choose to support. And I platform only the people that I want to platform. And I stand for something. And I don't just lie down for anything. So believe what you want to believe and act like you don't know my name, but you know my name now. And unless you want this to become my pastime, because I got all the time. Yeah, I decide my schedule, and I decide what my content is. And unless you want to become a featured topic on the Tim Black Show, we should keep my name out your mouth. And if you do talk about me, Miss Cross, the name is Tim Black. A member of the working class, a fighter for working class people, an advocate for black people issues, and the upliftment of my people. A firm believer in reparations and cutting the goddamn check. Because, see, unlike you, I'm not happy with just getting a check for myself from Zaddy. I want us all to get our check. Our whole goddamn check. Power to the people. Power to the corporations is more like what you stand for. Let's end this out, guys. This has gone long enough. I still got to do an update on the other shit that's going on. Let's let Tiffany, Empty Tiffany, and Little Jason finish burying themselves. We can still see the tops of your heads. Let's allow you to put the rest of the dirt over top of yourselves because you've done such a good job up to this point of burying yourself. You dug the hole, you climbed in it, and poured the dirt in on top of yourself. Let's let you finish that up. Go ahead. Do your thing, girl. And do your thing too, Miss Cross.
Nina on, invite Nina on. This was totally organic. I was like, we didn't know that
person. It's going to be the same thing. We do that before I write this or that or the other, because is integrity. And
I don't even remember.
Yeah.
So would you like to address that?
I'm going to say this, and I think this is important because you and I have had these conversations in the past when we were talking about, your friends with Ta-Nehisi and everything else like that, and things have been said. And I'm always very, very careful about these sorts of things, anything on camera, on tape, or whatever it is. But I'm going to say this to make it very clear. If this puts me in a category of people like Ta-Nehisi and Melissa Harris Perry and everything else like that to inspire that kind of anger, I'll take it as a badge of honor. You have my phone number. If you have something to say to me, you can pick it up. Simple. One thing about this business and the world that we work in is integrity. And integrity is not just what you do in public, it's what you do behind closed doors, and it's what you do in DMs. If you have problems with people, you pick up the phone. You have problems with people, you DM them. What you don't do is go perform in other outlets. And if you can say it in other outlets, you can say it over the phone, or you can say it to somebody's face. I have been exceptionally respectful to anybody else who works in and out of this business. There are times I have not written things because I've had people call me and say, yo, Jason, this person is a phone call away. You shouldn't write that commentary until you talk to him or her. So I'm like, you know what, you're right. I could talk to this person first. Let me do that before I write this or that or the other. Because that's what you do when you're a respectful human being. That's what you do when you have professional integrity. That's what you do when you know that you will say the same thing to someone in person that you would say in writing. But when you don't do that, that shows you don't have the strength of your convictions. And I'll say this about you. I'll say this about, like I said, the segment that just happened. I said in the segment on the air, I was like, hey, look, I thought this was a race, but based on the resources that Nina Turner should have won. I didn't change that when the future Congresswoman got on the IG with it, because my opinions aren't going to change when I'm faced with that particular person. It's going to be the same thing. I was in touch with members of the Turner campaign, and you and I both know surrogates in the Turner campaign.
And we know Nina. I know Nina, and Nina's always been nice. I have no beef with Nina,
I have Nina Turner's phone number. I've known Nina Turner since 2004 when I moved to Cleveland. So I say all this to say that when people want to say nasty comments, as the good doctor did, it's like, free to say that. I'd appreciate it if you give me a call, and I'll take it.
Can I just say, I'd like to address this as well. First of MFing all, if there is a platform to shade my dear friend, Dr. Jason Johnson, it is this one, okay? I make comments about Jason, and that's it. When y'all make comments about Jason, you stepping out of pocket. So I feel like Cornel West, but I really am, like, I rock with people. When somebody messes with somebody I rock with, I'm like, oh, then I can't really, I can't even be a sounding board for that kind of ridiculous. And so Cornel West is like, he got two people that who I deeply care about and respect, and I just, it's he's on the wrong side of Tiffany Cross's days, and it's unfortunate because there's a whole lot of other people to be mad at other than Cornel West, but so I'm not really mad. It's just like the mute button. It's like, oh, he caused green in these streets again, like he takes a lot of shots, and I just value the opinion that was. This is what go ahead. Maybe has enough time.
And this is the other thing that I think is important, because again, and you and I do, when you make references on the air or whatever to like this that we say versus group chat and everything.
No one has to call you before they call you out, asshole. Who the hell are you? No one has to give you, if you're going to write garbage, expect pushback. If you're going to tweet out bullshit, expect people to respond and not go along with it. These people are elitists like hell. They're arrogant as fuck. Like, oh, he gets to say whatever he wants to say, and before you comment on it, you're supposed to call him and see why he wrote the bullshit he wrote? Dude, if you're not going to edit your shit before you put it out, that's on you. Once you put it out in front of the world, it don't matter. It's out. Integrity. What does little Jason know about integrity? You put out an article with no facts, just your opinion, based on nothing. Just a smear Nina Turner. And speaking of integrity, what's your relationship with Chantel Brown? Sounded to me like you were chummy with her during this entire process. Exceptionally respectable to who? Who you been respectful to? You are deliberately antagonistic to all the people on the left as you can be. You do that instinctively. That's your way of clout chasing. Trying to get us to retweet you and argue with you to raise your algorithm. We know what your game is, Dr. J. You've been doing this since 2016. You'll say things to gaslight Bernie Bros. I seen you do it with all groups of people. You did it with Buttigieg, Bernie Bros, like so many others. That's your game. You said you shouldn't write that commentary. So here's the part where he says, before he writes a commentary, people tell him he needs to consult with the people that he's going to write. Why should you have to consult with people in order to write your commentary? Your commentary should be fact-based. Why would you need to check with people before you write something? I thought the facts were the facts. Why you need to check with people before you write facts? Little Jason, that don't make sense. Sound like somebody's full of shit. Somebody diaper needs to be changed, little Jason, or somebody's full of shit. Professional integrity. This is funny. He says, I have Nina's number. What does that mean? Did you use it before you wrote that horrible article? I don't think you did, Johnson. Guess what? I have Nina's number too. You're not the only person with a number. What does that mean? Did you use the number before you wrote the horrible article? And once again, Tiffany inserts herself in something that's got nothing to do with her. But of course, because she is who she is, Empty Tiffany, she could just say whatever she wants to say because it's her world and nobody else matters. And they ain't in her circle. And she hasn't given them her sign of approval. That means that they don't get to have an opinion and they don't matter. So she interjects herself again. My dear friend Jason. Well, your dear friend Jason is a piece of shit, okay? And your dear friend Jason lies. I'm surprised you don't know that by now. That means you need some better goggles, some better scumbag goggles, or some better snake detector contact lenses. Because he is definitely a snake. If you don't know that, I got to question your skills of discerning who's good people. What he is an ass kisser. And maybe that's what you guys have in common. The go along, get along gang. The punch down crew. The punch left crew, the punch down crew, and the go along, get along gang. Goddamn, man. Empty Tiffany and little Jason. We're relevant. We got jobs. She said, we are stepping out of pocket if we talk about Jason. Well, Tiffany, I don't think you're qualified to talk shit about Dr. Cornel West. I don't think you are, sister. I disagree with it totally. I'm insulted that you could shit on me without even knowing who I am based on me criticizing your friend here. When I cover a lot of important black issues, I stand firmly in the black community and support my black brothers and sisters on important matters. I covered every day of the George Floyd trial. I cover instances where black people being mistreated by police. I don't just cover Karens to get views. I get behind candidates that I support, whose policies I think will positively impact black folks. I support working class folks. I support unions. I stand up for them. And I do so even if it means I may lose people. I stand on what I believe firmly. I call out those who I believe are working directly against the people that I advocate for. And I'm willing to lose subscribers and friends and jobs. Because I don't have a job. That's why I don't have a job. Because you can't have a job and speak truth to power in this business. It's impossible. At some point, your job is going to get in the way of the truth. That's how this business works. So let me tell you fuckheads how the business works. I've been doing this for 10 years on my own. I worked for a newspaper in D.C. before I did this. So I know how it works. I spent my whole life in D.C. working for big corporations, Fortune 100 corporations. And I left that behind because I didn't want that to be my life's work. I chose this business. And I know you don't get to speak truth to power in this business if you work for a company. Not totally, not freely as you want. Like Paul Mooney says, I'm young, blonde, and 17. See what the hell I want to say. Hey, I say what the fuck I want to say. To whom I want to say it. And I try to do so based on what I believe wholeheartedly. And sometimes that gives you friends, sometimes that gives you enemies. But it always gives me a good night's sleep. Tiffany, I'm going to leave you with this because I just want the world to know this. You made a comment. Besides me, let's take me out of it. I've already jumped on your case about your comments degrading Dr. Cornel West when I don't think you can shine his shoes or walk in his shoes or carry his jacket. That's just my opinion. And I say that only because of your condescending tone and elitist nature. That's it. I don't know you as a person. Maybe you're a beautiful person on the inside. It does not appear to be the case. You definitely need to choose better acquaintances to pal around with. I also have a detector on who's a real brother who's going to the bat for black people. But I'll say this to close it out with you. He made some comments about black men I didn't like, that I took issue with. So this part is for you. This is for you. This has nothing to do with me. This is your words, not about me, that you made in this live stream. And I'm like, why would she do this? Here it goes, guys.
Nina on, invite Nina on. This was totally organic. And it's baffling to me to see the toxicity in some of these black men who echo the same sentiments as the MAGA crowd, who are anti-maskers, who don't believe in science, who subscribe to some of these conspiracy theories.
What are you doing? Yeah.
I mean, that and also just the misogyny and the patriarchy they support. It's like they are like some white women in the sense that it's like, no, I want to have the same power as white men. Therefore,
they always find a way to shit on black men. They always find a way to shit on black men. I'm a prime example of how they do that on the left and on the centrists, how the centrists do it and how the left does it. I recently was shit on by a number of so-called progressives. But this is about you. This is about you, Empty Tiffany. Shitting on all the black men. Oh, they like, how many black men supported Trump? 10%? And of that 10 or 15%, I'm going to go 15. I don't even know if it's that high. But how many did that just based on the lack of support for Joe Biden? I mean, Joe Biden is not someone we were checking for. So maybe 10 or 15% of black men supported Donald Trump, compared to 55% of white men and 40% of Latinos. I don't know how many Asians voted for him, but we voted for him the least. Black men, gosh, how can I say this? Black men showed the least amount of support. Sorry, guys. Silences. Black men showed the least amount of support for Donald Trump. Let's say this. Black men showed the least amount of support for Donald Trump out of all other men in this country. And still, Ms. Cross has no problem whatsoever shitting on us and attaching us to MAGA. And Jason is such a wimpy beta male, he won't push back. He won't stand up for us. He won't correct the record. He won't speak no truth. He just kisses her ass and agrees with her. Make that make sense. But he gets to jump on camera on MSNBC on black issues and act like he's speaking for black men. Well, he don't support black men. He don't have black men's back. And here's another thing. Any black man that supported Donald Trump, that's his right to support whoever the hell he wants to support. I didn't support Donald Trump, but if you did and you're a black male, so what? That's what voting rights means. It means people get to choose who they vote for. The number of black men is the smallest number of men is of the group that was the lowest turnout for Donald Trump. But still, time after time, it's like they don't know what else to say. They got this tick that they go to, this nervous tick that these sisters go to. I never hear the white women do it. Why I never hear the white women do this? They go to this instinctive tick where they blame black people and try to attach them to Trump. It's always sisters. And they say we want the rights of white men. It seems like some of you sisters want the rights of white women. And in some cases, and such as this, Tiffany, you're a lot more disrespectful or similarly disrespectful. Now, I've had great sisters. Like, I would never judge or make blanket statements about black women being any type of negative way because I'm far more impacted by the positive black women that I've spent time with that are in my life. For me to make a blanket statement and to me to want to show my ass knocking down black women. But it's black women like you, Tiffany, who have no problems marginalizing black men. And why do you do it? Because you're on a white network and we're your punching bag. Your punching bag is not white guys. Your punching bag is not white women. When the time's gonna get tight, you go at black men. That is your tried and tested go-to for shitting on someone. It's to go to black men and throw us in the Trump train. Neither I nor Dr. Cornel West voted for Donald Trump. I don't even know where the fuck that came from. I don't know why you brought that up. I don't know what that's got to do with anything. But that is no way relevant to this conversation. And I'm really just tired of y'all taking a dump on black men just to do it. Whether you're talking about, I think she was talking about the baby or something. The baby is not indicative of anybody other than himself. He makes his own decisions. He did his thing. Criticize the baby. He's a person. He's got a name. You know his name, though, don't you? You don't know him personally, but you know his name. I wonder if you said, I don't know his name. I don't know his rappers. I don't know. Probably did. These people are elitists, y'all. They're elitists and they're scumbags. They love to talk on high and shit on those below. That's their thing. But my thing is this. Who put you on high? You're a puppet. And that's why I call you Empty Tiffany. And Jason is a very small man. That's why I call him Little Jason. All right, guys, my name is Real Tim Black. Tim Black, Real Tim Black on Facebook and Twitter. Tim Black and that on Instagram. We tell the truth, no matter who gets pissed off about it. You can say you don't know who I was before this video, but you can't say it now, Tiffany, because I'm sure even you could spell it. Dr. Jason, I'll see you next time I bump into you, and we'll videotape it and see how hard you are, how tough you are. You're a cornball. It's all in the video, man. And a liar. All right, guys, that's it. I'll see you soon. I'm going to come back. Remember, this show is brought to you by Cut the Check. They already get ours. It's time. They already got theirs. Tiffany and Jason already got their checks. It's time the rest of us get ours. Wolf Pack. Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. Do they know us? When I say they, I mean the talking heads on cable news. Do they know you? I mean, they talk about the world as if it's a sport. They play political games, report on our pain, rack our brain to feed the stock exchange, but do they know us? Do they know what we care about? Nope. They're too far away. They can't see us. They can't feel us. They can't relate to us. See, when you want to know what's going on in your world, trust someone who lives in your world. Subscribe.
Most news shows are suspect. They don't focus on Black issues, and when they do, it's all fluff. How does that help your life? How does that help your family? How does that help the culture? They don't. The Tim Black Show is different. Tim Black gives you news for people who can't stand the news. Real, authentic, researched, entertaining, on point. Don't let nobody take your cornbread. Visit www.timblacktv.com today. Get Black breaking news, politics, culture from someone you can trust. TimBlackTV.com. Join us today.